evening and welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the undeniable vixen, your guest. We have a wonderful, your host, and we have a wonderful guest. I'm already tongue-tied today. And let's see, we have just a little minuscule touch of beer news. So let's go ahead and get started into that. So, I first want to give a big shout out to Jen Price and Crafted for Action. I was asked, I said, hey, I really want to try that Fonio beer that our culture did a collab on, and the LMAX. And she delivered, more than, I was just more than 2 cans. She delivered triple fold for me. So I'm so excited for that because we're getting ready for our bottle share coming up this Sunday with the Black Beer delegates. So I'm really excited that I'll be able to share. We'll be able to taste it, and then I'll, let someone take a can or 2 home with them. So I know they're going to fight. Oh my gosh, they're going to fuss, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So if you know me, and there are some people that do, they know that this man is influential in my life as far as music. And Prince Rogers Nelson, he was such a big influence on me. And I got that from my mama because she loved Prince. That's where we got our love for purple. She would go and see Prince every New Year's Eve, and I was never allowed to go. So quick story. Like I said, I'm a concert baby. So my mother, he would come to Dallas every New Year's Eve. And most of the time it was for like ladies only or, just something. But like I said, I love going to concerts, and I was begging my mother to take me to see Prince. I was begging her because I would listen to all the albums, not knowing what the songs were about, because that's, I had no idea. And I was singing songs I probably shouldn't have been singing, but it had a great beat. And hey, what can I tell you? But finally, I got to go to the concert. It was Purple Rain. And when he came out, I was like, he has on way too many clothes, because this is not the Prince that I know. The Prince that I know has this little leopard leotard or black leotard, like bikini panties, running around with a trench coat. But I went ahead and got over it and loved the concert and loved everything about it. And I did get to see him at the Essence Festival, one of the last performances that he had. So this is special to me because it also means that when I decided to do Being Black and Craft, making it a full-time podcast and everything, I picked the specific day to launch it on April 20th. Because 21st, because it is such a significant day. Not really thinking about 420, but thinking about the next day. And I was like, this is, celebration of Prince. I'll be able to remember it because it's 421. So happy anniversary. Shout out to Brandon Montgomery, who basically started us on Clubhouse. He wanted people to get together, kind of check in, because it was during the pandemic. And we just ended up having an evolution of me and the 2 fellas, Chris and Kendrick. We wanted to keep it up when Brandon was like, no, I'm just, hey, y'all can do whatever with it. And we're like, we want to keep this going. And of course, with everything, Chris being in Amsterdam, Kendrick being in Houston, and having the Pine Exchange and different things, and everybody's lives going every which way, they graciously stepped aside and took a bow and allowed me to just go full forward with Being Black and Craft. So thank you to everyone for the 5 years in its totality. I did not know it had been that long that we've been doing this. So thank you all who've been on this ride with us, on this journey with us. And hopefully we'll keep on giving you good information, making sure that you know about BIPOC and BIWOC craft makers in your area. Or if you're going out of town, that you know that there is at least one. That's my ultimate goal. I hope that there's at least one BIPOC craft place that you can go to or pick up in your journeys. So thank you so much. So also getting back into beer news, Capital Beer Festival, they are on their, I believe it is 60 days or 59 days now. June 14th is going to be the Capital Craft Beer Festival. So if you're in that DC area, because I know people can kind of go to DC, I'm in Texas, so it's very odd to me how y'all can just skip a state and be somewhere else. But check that out. Then let me see. I could not pull this, so let me pull this information. If you know or heard of the Hood Sommelier, really great account to follow. And so they are doing, this is the second year that they're doing this, an Afrofusion. So Afrofusion in DC, it is African food meets whiskey. Come and join us for 2 nights of delicious African cuisine paired with smooth whiskeys at the Continent DC restaurant. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds with fusions of flavor from the African continent while sipping on premium cocktails and whiskey. This is an in-person event that will take place on Friday, May 30th and Saturday, May 31st. They'll have DJ, food, music, everything. So he's a great follow. And if you are just like a whiskey nerd, he is someone that you'd want to know and get some great insight on. And then pairing with African cuisine, I think this will be an amazing thing. So again, if you're over in that DC area, y'all are having a ball over there. So check that out. And go ahead and make sure that you're following Hood Sommelier so you can go to his Eventbrite to pick up tickets. So as I said, I was going to be pulling different aspects of Crafted for Action that's going to be during the week of Juneteenth. And this is one that I thought was going to be very interesting. Brewed Together and Saffron present our legacy, Black farmers, urban agriculture, and craft beer. Black farmers, I can't wait to listen to this or see it live. The conversation of what is going on with Black farmers with, this administration that we're dealing with right now, and how they're pulling their resources, how they're maintaining, how they're having to pivot, and getting that transport as far as getting the things that Black farmers have to those craft beer industries that are wanting to use local, fresh product. So trying to see what that distribution looks like, that's going to be really interesting in seeing where they are. So that's going to be on Saturday, June 21st, and that is going to be live, as well as if you're online, you'll be able to check that out. Then because of who we have on the show, I thought I would just keep on going. So another one that's going to be on June 19th, right before my brand ambassador tutelage, is going to be an event by Susan Hart Willis called Kinda Sober, No, Low, and Alternative Drink Options, because I think that people need alternative drink options. Even for myself, even though I'm doing a lot of craft beer, crafted cocktails and things like that, here lately, within the last couple of months, I haven't really been drinking. And if I go out or if I'm in the company, with some friends, I want to be able to have an alternative because I went out to dinner and everybody ordered a drink and I'm the only one that was drinking water. So when they went to toast, they were like, "What is this? What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't feel like drinking. I just don't feel like it." And that's just how it was. So knowing that I can have something that's going to be refreshing and crisp and nice, that I can at least be able to tell the bartender, if they don't have a mocktail, that I can give them information to do a mocktail for me if that's what I want to do, or else I'll drink water, which is fine. Then if you're in person on the 20th and you have a taste for some salad, I'll have a salad with my beer, demo and tasting by Chef Leslie Gordon, who is an amazing and wonderful person. And her food is absolutely delicious. So I'm sure that it will really be a treat for people that get to go to Crafted for Action in person. So make sure that you register for that. And that's all my beer news. All right, so let me go ahead and introduce my guest. Bring her up. Hello. Hi, Tarika.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm so glad that you were able to come and talk to us and share.
Thank you.
And as I was telling you beforehand, I was scrolling Instagram, minding my business, loving Jesus like I do. And then I happened to see Urban Orchid, and I was just like, oh, this is different. Okay. And like my previous guest said before, when she was starting on her journey, there was nothing out there. There was no alternatives. And then she blinked, and now there's so many options out there now. So I want to know a little bit about you personally, and then we're going to go deeper into the actual product. So, Tarika, where are you from originally?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, Angie, for having me on here. So I'm originally from the DC area. So I currently live here in the DC suburbs, PG County. If you know, you know. Yeah, so living here for some time and was in the Army. So Army vet, proud Army retired vet. So I've lived all over the world. Thank you.
Okay. So growing up, you've been there in DC, and let me, I guess, like not nerd out, but just kind of get a lay of the land. Because when people think of DC, I'll say not people, me.
Okay.
Think of, the White House, and that's it. And that's where, people are around it, it kind of circles out of it. So where you are, that's the burbs or there mini burbs or borough kind of thing like New York?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're breaking it down like that. So yes, you have DC, you think about the White House, but there's so many suburban areas around the DC area. We really call it the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. Okay. So I live in Maryland, which is where I live in Maryland, it's only 25 minutes from DC, but you can go all the way out to Baltimore and you're about an hour, right?
Okay.
So that's the gist of like where I'm located. And then Northern Virginia is not far from me at all either. So yeah, so we kind of like bundle it up like DC, Maryland, Virginia, the DMV.
Okay. So let's see. I guess one of my first questions would be, because I know that Herb and Orchid is a non-spirited brand. Were you ever a drinker at all?
Oh yeah. So the background behind Urban Orchid is that so I had lost my dad in November of 2022, right? And I was a big drinker. But when I lost my father, I was really drinking the Coke, right? So fast forward, my husband, he was just asking me to go 90 days without drinking. And for somebody who drank a lot, like that was like, like you're taking away my joy. So I did it though, because, I was just spiraling. And during that time, I was trying a lot of different brands. And, some of them were just a little too sugary for me. And then some I just didn't really like the taste. And especially when you mentioned about going out and you're toasting with your friends and you only had water, right? Like, so we would go out to eat and I wasn't offered good non-alcoholic options. So I was
Mm,
complaining, and when my husband goes into action mode, he was like, "Why don't you stop complaining?" Like he's Mr. Action. So that's exactly what I did. Like instead of complaining, I created my own brand of
mm.
non-alcoholic wine.
Okay, okay. So it's a wine base. And
Yes.
you said that you had an evolution as far as how it's getting to that. What how long was this evolution to from it being wine to like a non-alcoholic wine based beverage?
So you're asking about the process of becoming a wine.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So when I was doing my research to become a non-alcoholic brand, I couldn't find a lot of folks who could de-alcoholize wine. So when I say that, so I found someone in California. So what they do is they take a white wine based on California wine. It's a white blend, and it goes through vacuum distillation, which is a very gentle process to remove the wine, but it also keeps like some of the flavor profiles there, right?
Hmm.
So it's a very gentle process, and then I built my own recipe and formulation on top of that with the Asian pear, and that was really an ode to my travels in Asia. I was stationed in South Korea for 2 years, so I got a chance to go to Vietnam and China and so forth. So I really love the culture and the flavors. So that's where that came about.
Let's see. So I was thinking about that. So when when you take a sip, even now,
Mm-hmm.
take a sip of it. Um, what do you instantly what place in the world? Because you went to several. What place in the world can you give me a good memory when you would take a sip of your product?
I would go back to South Korea because, like I said, like I got a chance to go to a number of countries when I was stationed there, but I lived in South Korea for 2 years. So just
Okay.
taking you back there because the way I wanted the flavor profiles, which was my complaints when I was looking for a non-alc beverage, is that it'll say passion fruit or it'll say mango, and you know how it is. It's like
Hmm.
this is not passion fruit, mango, or any of this. Like I feel like it's
Hmm.
false advertising. You're catfishing me, like
Right.
it's a flavor catfish. So with me, with the Asian pear, it immediately hits your nose, that pear, that crispness, and then you start sipping it, and people are really surprised that it tastes exactly what I put on the package. That's exactly the way it tastes. It's very akin to a Riesling, I would say.
Okay.
A
One of my
very nice crisp
favorites.
Riesling.
Okay, so that would definitely get because that's one thing that I always try to get people that were on the Moscato kick
Hmm.
and try to get them. It's like, okay, move away from the dessert wine and try Riesling. You're gonna really like it.
Yes, yes. And as you know, with Rieslings, they're all different. Like when I was
Hmm.
drinking, you can go from the sweetest of Rieslings for those Moscato drinkers, or you can get really crisp. And
Yeah.
and I would say mine is more crisp because I didn't want a lot of sugar. So in one can, it's only 8 grams of sugar in here.
Okay,
Yeah, and
that's good
70
to know.
calories. So
Hmm.
I didn't want it to be super sweet, but it's still flavorful.
Now, there's one thing, and maybe I'm not sure. Is there any other attributes or benefits to the drink as far as like gut health?
No, so this particular formulation, so I started the company in February 24, but I just launched here in January. And I started with the
Oh,
yeah, so I'm baby brand.
okay.
So I started with the one SKU because, it's not cheap, but also I wanted to like bring out one SKU to like have people taste it and see what people's thoughts were, before I iterate. So there are no functional ingredients in this particular one, but my formulations in the fall is I'm very excited because I'm adding in
Okay.
functional ingredients. and adding in functional ingredients specifically for women going through perimenopause and menopause, because I'm a woman of 43 going through perimenopause. And that's something that I wanted to have in my beverage, like a part of your nightly ritual, or, wellness and going to your spas or your yoga classes or Pilates.
That sounds amazing. And I can just imagine all the people, all the ladies that would really hone into that, because I think Tabitha Brown, when she started talking about perimenopause, that's when people started saying like, yeah, we're over here. We're going
Yes.
through stuff. So to be able to have a cocktail that can kind of like cool you off, or even like the lady that was at a football game, I'll never forget it.
Yes.
The lady that was bald head, and it was like, I said, that can't be real. But yes, it could be real.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
So I'm actually I'm super excited because I'm working with a team on the East Coast now, and they're based out of New York. And me and the formulator, she's a certified herbalist, and we are just like geeking out about the botanicals and things that we're gonna like looking to incorporate. It's still gonna be flavorful because at the end of the day, you need great flavor. But to add the functional ingredients, I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what does celebration without compromise mean to you, just personally?
Yeah. So personally, it means waking up in the morning without a hangover. It means not saying crazy things to people and then not remembering in the morning, right? So I
Yeah.
recently went to a networking function and they had tickets for beverages, like alcoholic beverages. And I was like, wow. A few years ago, I would have like pounced on this, right? But then I wouldn't have remembered what I said to people, right?
Mm.
And I wouldn't remember the connections I made with people, because this time around, I was able to wake up in the morning and I could like figure, I knew like exactly what I said to that person. And I really appreciate that, not compromising like my mental health
Mhm.
and being and very clear, my clarity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when we go to these networking events, and it is having socially, and you're supposed to have fun and whatnot, but you still have to have your game face on,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're trying to really make connections. Yeah, because I could see that really not working out well if you can't remember what happened, or even the other way around, someone that was talking to you and they don't know, and they was like, yeah, we're gonna make this deal. It's like, we're gonna make this deal. It's like, well, I don't remember talking to you. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. um so what role does the community play for urban orchid?
And when you say what role?
Yeah, so how would you like to, even because you did say that you are just starting out, how would you like to be involved in the community, as far as bringing them into the brand?
So essentially building community around the brand. I will say, like, I'm very excited. This Friday, I'm going to be one of the vendors at the Black Women Food and Beverage Summit. So that's very exciting. So I'll get to meet a lot of ladies and bring them in. And like when I say the community, you say the community being around the brand, just people like realizing that they can not. I don't like to say like non-alc is not having, because I think that like you can
Mm.
still have, it's having more of, right? Like that's what I think it's about. Is that not like, oh, I'm getting rid of the alcohol, because what the statistics are like, what 90% or so people who are drinking non-alc are still drinking. It's about having more, like, okay,
Mhm.
so maybe I want to have this beverage on the weekend, but like during the week or going to my networking function, like I want to be
Mhm.
clear so I can still have something that's adult and flavorful and complex, but without compromising my clarity, right? Or my
Mhm.
sleep, because my sleep is important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell friends all the time, 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's the middle of the night at my house. It's almost midnight as far as I'm concerned because
Exactly. And I have a 4 and a 6-year-old too.
oh,
So for me, like I have to be on, right? Like anybody
mhm.
knows who has kids, like they don't care about what you were doing. They want, oh mommy, I want some breakfast or I want this, right? So you constantly have to be on, right? So I I just, it's about enjoying and knowing what I'm doing. Like
Mhm.
I can't like stress that out enough.
Yeah. So, um, what do you think would be a beautiful mistake that you made during the process of you building the brand? Something that you may have learned from.
Hmm. Jumping in too fast. So I think that I'm a so my dad was a huge cooker, right? I know, like I'm gonna bring this back, right?
Okay.
So he was a huge cooker and he was big on innovation and like I feel like I've like have some of that too, right? Like
Mhm.
with the flavors, the way I like to cook and things like that. And I wasn't thinking outside the box, right? So initially I was like, I used to like to drink wine, so I'm gonna go with the dealcoholized wine. Well, there's all types of ways I could have created this brand. It didn't have to start with a wine, right? I could have made
Mhm.
a wine proxy. I could have done all types of things. So I think that was it's still a beautiful mistake because the beverage now is still beautiful, but now I'm really looking at things and ways to innovate, right?
Mhm.
So I would have to say that that would be it.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your favorite meal that you like to pair with your drink?
Ooh, so I love all forms of Asian cuisine. So sushi,
Mm.
some Thai noodles, some pad Thai. So I'm a big spicy person. I love spice. So like the little bit of the sweet on my wine, my dealcoholized wine with a
Mhm.
spicy dish. Yeah, I love that. I love that
Ooh.
feeling.
Okay. So, I I'll try it. But it's just like me and spice. It's like it's odd the things that I like that are really spicy. But I'm not like I got used to having pepper on my food. That's how bad I was. Not like hot
You're
food.
like my mom. My mom is like, "Is this spicy?" Before she starts eating something. But
Yeah.
like me and my dad, like we shared that too. Like we would go to a sushi place, and this man would put the wasabi straight on the roll, like not even mix it with. I mean, like I like spicy, but that's on a whole nother level.
Yes.
But no. And it doesn't have to be spicy either, Angie. But I would just say like something that's savory. How about that for you? Because you don't like
Okay.
spice.
Yeah.
Savory with the
Okay.
sweet, yeah,
Okay. I like
with a
savory.
little bit of sweet. It's not too sweet, but it'll be a nice like little cut into that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking when you were saying Thai pad noodles, best absolute best. I know everybody can't get it, but if you go to Thailand, that's why I had the best Thai pat noodles.
That is the one place I was so mad. Like, so they had like, so when I was stationed over there, people would go on like 4 day like little trips, and that was one
Mhm.
place I did regret not going. But I'll be
Mm.
able to make it back there. Yeah.
Yeah, this. What do you think? Maybe when the kids get like at a certain age, would you want to take them with you?
Yeah, for sure. I think I
Okay.
would. Like we're moving on our 10-year anniversary and we're talking about going to Jamaica. I know that's not Asia, but we're gonna take them with us.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Little trips until the big trips
And
because
so the big trips, right? Right
you
now
have
we
to
do
travel.
yes, right now we do domestic ones. So like because we live like such in a such great location, centrally located. So like we'll go to North Carolina or South Carolina beaches, or we'll go
Okay.
to Dover, or we have Ocean City. So we're around a lot of beaches too. So
Mhm.
we like to do domestic trips. My husband's from Detroit, so we're going out there for Mother's Day.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. Um, what is, I guess, just thinking off, just thinking wildly, um, what would be the wildest combination as far as like a fruit that you would use in your beverage?
Mm. So some things we've been really thinking about is like so being from this area, from DC area, and even like Virginia, cherry blossom is huge, like the cherry blossoms and things like that. So I've been thinking about some floral notes. Thinking about some sakura, some cherry blossoms, in some of the new formulations, and one of them actually. So just think about some florals, right?
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about distribution. So right now, do you have distribution as far as like you're in? I've forgotten the name of the shop, but the name of the shop that we talked
Oh,
about.
no, 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 no. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. So no, because I just launched here in January. But what I'm doing, like on a lower level, is air goods. So air goods is a great way to get out to small boutique shops and some of the small non-alcoholic bottle shops. So I'm currently at Hopscotch. That's the bottle shop that you were going to
Yes.
say in
Yes.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'm also at Plant Magic shop. So they're in Union Market, Plant Magic bottle shop. She's Black owned and she has a bottle shop. She deals with a lot of functional beverages. And then also Binge Bar DC. That's a non-alcoholic bar in DC. And she's
Mm,
Filipina. Yeah. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
nice. So has outside of just drinking it straight out of the can, have you made any crafted cocktails with it?
yeah, so usually I don't even drink it straight out the can. Like I put it in a glass. I was
Okay.
gonna like pour one tonight in a glass on our interview. But yeah, so pour in a glass. What I've done like with some of the tastings is like you can make it like a mimosa.
Okay.
So like when I've done some pop-ups and tastings, I brought like my pear puree, guava, different
Mm,
things. So like ladies, if you wanted to like have a brunch, I know my dermatologist, she bought a few of them because she was going to a ladies brunch. So you could do it like mimosas.
sounds
One
good.
lady, she does some beautiful stuff on Instagram with mocktails and she mixed
Mhm.
it with some beautiful ice and different things. So like it's all things that you would do with wine, with white wine.
Okay.
I haven't done the sangria yet, and that's one thing I do need to do
That
together.
sounds
Yeah.
delicious.
Yes.
That's good. Let's see. So January you kind of launched, and that's really like the big heyday as far as like the month of January because dry January and all that good stuff.
Yes. Yes.
What because it seems like it will be January very soon. What are some expectations that you're thinking of as far as like uh, growing the brand for in the next coming year? What do you think would be good for year? Saying that this is year one that
Mhm.
we've been established.
So year two, like I said, like so this will be a limited edition because I didn't say that. I'm gonna be taking out the dealcoholized wine. Because I want to have things on the East Coast too. Like so not when you say like beautiful mistakes, like doing everything on the West Coast, I thought it was cool. It just isn't sustainable for me. So like moving all the operations to the East Coast, taking out de-alcoholized wine and still creating something beautifully crafted. So that's where I see us going. Here in the fall, moving into the beverage with the functional ingredients that we spoke about.
Mhm.
And then like really like hitting it hard to get into the vitamin shops, the GNCs, the sprouts, the things of that nature.
Mhm.
So really getting on shelves. Yeah, that's where I
Okay.
see it. Yeah.
And you know, I never asked, I guess my first question should have been, how did you come up with the name? Where did the name?
Oh, yes, yes. So orchids, beautiful flower, right?
Mhm.
But orchids are very resilient, right? So they can be grown in all types of diverse environments, with the exception of Antarctica. And I was like, that's really spoke to my story of, losing my father, um, that was a lot. Like it really could have broke me, but it didn't. Being an army vet, being a war vet, actually, I was deployed to Afghanistan.
Okay.
So just all of the things that are part of my journey, right? So that resiliency, but still like being beautiful and serving something beautiful to people, right?
Mhm.
And then the herbs, moving into the functional ingredients speaks to that.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was just an interesting name,
Yeah.
and I wondered how that tied in there, and the packaging. Can you hold up a can again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love the packaging.
Thank
it's very
you.
bright and very like colorful, and it's like
Thank
it
you.
looks like fun. It looks like
Yes, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And I've worked with so many small women-owned companies.
Mhm.
So they're based out of Creme de Mint, they're based out of Miami. Designer, she is amazing. So it's little fans speaking to like the Asian like
Okay.
profiles, and
Yes.
then like the drop, and like I geeked out over this. And then I'm
Mhm.
also an AKA too. So I love the pink and the green. Then like if you get the 4-pack and then the little
Nice.
tops, it's just so me.
Ooh, so okay. Um, collab with the SARS, maybe.
Yes, that too. That needs to be on the list as well.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at the convention, that could be. I know y'all probably will have like a brunch or a breakfast before everyone leaves. Wouldn't be it would be wonderful to have Herb and Orchid be part of the brunch right there in the
Yes,
midst of the food.
yes.
Okay. Well, what do you what what would be? I'm trying to think of a question that I'm trying to think of how I want to word it. During this time, since you've had time to kind of get yourself kind of in the gist of still being new,
Hmm.
what 2 or 3 things would you be able to give to someone? Like I said, the young lady that had just kind of started her brand as well. What kind of advice or um, things that you may have known now that you really would have known? Like if I would have known this, this.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, just like the networks that are out there, like, and there's so many great networks for CPG, consumer packaged good brands. Startup CPG being one of them. I wish I would have known about them when I started because I was doing my own research. So
Mhm.
I joined their Slack channel and their community, and like I've asked questions like, "Hey, what's a good co-packer, or what's a good place where I can warehouse my goods?" And people just like chime in. I would say
Mhm.
like there's really good communities out there, that also that people actually they really, at the end of the day, people really do want to help you, right? Like that there's some, I guess there's some people out there who want to like hoard knowledge, but for the most part people are very, very helpful, and they want to help you grow and just thrive, right? So I
Mhm.
would say there's really good communities and networks out there. Really tap into those. I wish I would have known about that instead of trying to do it by myself.
Mhm.
um Also that you don't have to pay like tons of money to get help. Like I just learned about Handshake, so it's a network where you can like get college students to help you out. So like I'm looking for a social media assistant, and like I didn't even know, like I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. I was like, babe, like 2 days later I had like 30 plus applicants.
Really?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's just like all the things that I wish I would have known to like help me with the brand.
Mm,
I would say like just people wanna help you for sure.
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, well, I think that that was probably everything that I wanted to ask you. Um, but I guess my last thing would be knowing that this was like a kind of inspired walking you into this place with your father passing. What do you think if you were able to talk to him? What do you think he would say with this brand?
Are you trying to make me cry?
No.
Oh my gosh. He'll be very proud of the brand and all the things I've done. He'll be very proud about the not drinking, because that was, I feel like in my 20s and even my early 30s, that was a lot of like, I've seen people, right, since I started the brand. I was like, I don't drink anymore. They're like, what? Like, because I was a
Mm,
partier, right? Back in the day, prior to the kids and everything like that. So like, just like that, I stopped drinking. He'll be proud about that. He'll be very proud about the brand and all the things that I've done to get it here, right?
yeah,
It's not done yet. It's
yeah.
just a start, but it's a really great start. So he'd be very proud about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Tarika, I thank you so much for joining me
Yeah. Thank
and
you.
sharing your story with me and our audience, because we have folks that are wanting to get, like I said, like we both said, those alternatives, know that
Oh
there's
yeah.
a choice out there. And I do have people that are in the DMV, Maryland, Virginia area that would love to have an option. So, and we mentioned those different locations, so
Oh
they'll
yeah.
be able to check them out.
Oh yeah. And all of them are lovely locations, like top notch, like
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Especially that bar.
Oh,
That's
and Detroit, if you have any Detroit
oh,
listeners, I have to put
okay.
out my girl Mockery. I'm doing very well in Detroit. Actually, she's ordered several
Nice.
cases, and I love the community out there too. So she's a Black woman-owned non-alc bottle shop. She kind of launched around the same time I did, and
Mm-hmm.
she's doing very well. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank, thank you again, Tarika. And just stay with me. But again, we want to thank Tarika and Urban Orchid to being Black in Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft, non-alcoholic craft, alcoholic, whatever it is. But we don't want to deny anyone the ability to have a good cocktail, a good drink. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.